Welcome to the show, everybody. I am just trying to adjust the direction of the camera so I'm not blinding people with this. So, welcome, everybody. So, for those that are going to be... So, I'm going to be recording this to go on our YouTube page. That way, anybody that needs to jump off or comes in after the live goes away or whatever, they'll be able to watch it. So, I'll record it, and then I'll post it so everybody has access. So, today is going to be audience-led. So it's really based upon your questions. Now I just spit everywhere. It's going to be on your questions, and I'll answer them as they roll in through the comments. So what do you want to talk about? And go from there. I do have some announcements that I'll go through if for some reason nobody asks any questions. Welcome, everybody. So while everybody's rolling, and I'll just kind of go through the announcements, and I'll just put them through again. So again, this is going to be audience-led, so any questions or anything that you specifically want to talk about, we will do so, and then we can just, have a conversation. So the first thing that I would like to announce is we are going to be launching our Patreon, which is going to be coming live on October 31st, which is Halloween. And it'll be in 3 tiers. It'll be tier 1 will be $1 a month, and that will allow people to just support us, get a lot of the behind the scenes stories and pictures, and be the first to see a lot of content. Tier 5 will be able to see, obviously, the stories on the back end, but they're also going to be able to get a monthly letter from us, and they'll also get first access to, they'll get access to discount codes for our merch stores. And then there's going to be a third tier, which will be $10 a month, and that'll be access to everything on the lower tiers, but they'll also get some other perks and all that other stuff. So I'll go into more detail as the closer we get to the Patreon launch date, which is the 31st, and that'll be, later down the road. And then the second and final announcement that I have, and then we can dive into whatever questions you guys have, is that because we hit 1,000 subscribers, we are going to do a painting giveaway. Now, the way that that's going to work is, first of all, it's going to be only U.S. based. I don't have the means to be able to ship overseas, so it is going to have to be in the U.S., but it's going to be one of these galaxy paintings that we do. And it is going to be a drawing. So the way it's going to work is now until, what's today's date? Today is the 2nd. So I'll give it until the next live. So until next Wednesday, I want you all to go and post your favorite color on any of our posts, and that way I'll grab your name and I'll put you in the drawing, and we'll just do a live drawing on our next live, and then we'll announce the winner, and I'll get in touch with you, and I'll get your mailing and all that other stuff. So that is all I have. So what specifically would you guys like to talk about? What questions do you have? It can be transition-based. It could be religious-based questions that you may have. It could be questions about our church, our website, questions that you have about our relationship with me and Chris. Really, any question that you guys have. So I will wait as you type out your burning needs. Make it awkward for people. Happy spoopy season. Yes, I am so glad it is Halloween because, I would be happier if it matched the fall weather, because here in Tennessee, which is where I live, it's very hot. I am very sweaty. I just got back from a therapy appointment and had to rush inside. I got back at 4:30 and I was like, oh God, I gotta jump in. Any advice for someone living in a homophobic household? That's rough. So Chris, my husband, he grew up in a very homophobic household. It was very hot here too, yeah. But yes, Chris grew up in a homophobic household. He was when he was actually forced to come out. I believe he actually wrote an article about his experience on our website. Who cannot move out. Yeah, so Chris, actually, my husband, he went through a similar situation. He was outed. His parents forced him to go into conversion therapy, and it obviously didn't work. And really, it was a matter of he had to kind of, this is horrible to say, but he kind of had to create a kind of a separate life in a sense. Like, he was able to interact with his parents, just was never able to communicate with them, wasn't able to talk about anything, and he just kind of lived his life in his room and on the internet, talking to other people in the community until he had the means to move out. Really, honestly, him being able to reach out to online communities and then seeing if there was any communities in the area that he could get involved with, that really made a difference because his parents were so incredibly homophobic. Like, if there's a PFLAG in your area, you can actually go to pflag.org, pflag.org, and search your zip code, and they'll tell you if there's any, like, local communities in your area that you could maybe get involved with. And then there might be some GSAs around and different things like that I don't know if you have a car or anything like that to get to these places, or maybe a bus pass. Sometimes people even come and pick you up, but it's important to have like a place you can go and be yourself, even if it's an online community, even if it's just talking to other people in your area. But it helped him to be able to find people locally until he had the means to be able to move out and live on his own. And that's kind of what I recommend, is if you're able to find somebody in the area or find a group in your area, it would be very, very helpful, I think, for you to do so. So I don't know if that answered exactly what you were looking for, but that's what I would say if you're living in a homophobic household. I'm stuttering today. What other questions do we have? On a side note, I'm still rocking my flip phone. I went to that to kind of help with some anxiety about having to work all the time for QCFE and stay connected. I'm just glad I live near Atlanta. Yeah, I remember us talking about that, that you live pretty close to I do. So I live in the Johnson City, Tennessee area, and Atlanta, I want to say, is a 2-hour, 3-hour drive from where I'm at. I'm probably, I don't know, distance, who knows, but you're not that far off. Atlanta is actually a very, very open city. The state of Georgia in and of itself, not so much, but there's pockets in just about every state. Like where I live, Johnson City, in the Tri-Cities area, would probably be the most progressive in our area. But if you go to Knoxville, which is about a 2-hour drive from here, still in Tennessee, then that place is way more progressive than even we are. Yeah, I'm not far away at all. I'm really not. I'm in Gray, which is like a subset or a smaller city, but it's still considered Johnson City. Like, it used to be its own city, but then somehow the board of Johnson City and Gray, like, now they merged us, but we're still considered Gray, but then we're also Johnson City. It's very confusing. I don't understand it, but I just say Johnson City because Gray is such a small area, and people are just like, you're Johnson City. What does your page focus on? This is our mission statement. So Queer Christian Family Values is the username. Our mission is to promote the affirmation and inclusion of LGBTQ plus individuals in the Christian faith. So we're all about affirming those in the LGBT community, lesbian, gay, bi, trans, queer, whatever you identify. You are welcome in churches, and you are affirmed, you are loved just the way you are, and we connect people with those that are looking for a church. So they've got Landmark, they've got, which is where we go to church at. Our website has a lot of different churches that you can choose to go to where you're going to feel welcomed, loved, and affirmed. Read 1 Corinthians 6, verse 9 and 10. I don't have scriptures memorized, but I have read the entire Bible, and if this is going to be something that maybe we can talk about. Let's see. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verses 9 and 10. Yeah, actually, I did a study on this not that long ago. This person wants me to read Corinthians verse 9 and 10, and this is the King James Version, but it says, "Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers, or of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God." So yeah, that's true. Gay people, that we understand it, are not included in any of that. So if you do want to dive into that conversation, I can actually link you some videos that we have already done on our last lives, but essentially it's not talking about gay people at all. It's talking about, there's temple prostitutes, there's pederasty, which is basically the taking of young boys and having sexual relations with them, and so all of that, pagan worshiping, whole nine yards. But anyway, also advice on what to do if you accidentally found yourself with a crush on someone who's straight. Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like that's a rite of passage for those that are in the LGBT community. You undoubtedly are going to end up having a crush on somebody that their orientation just doesn't swing that way. And I mean, you can't change somebody's orientation, so you kind of just have to respect that. Kind of like the whole friend zoning thing, right? So you've got straight guys who are into girls, and they get upset because they're friend zoned. Well, you can't make somebody like you, Chad, so you're gonna have to, move on. The way that, because I've dealt with it, I had a crush on one of my best friends from high school and into college, and like a really strong crush. And I mean, it happens, and you kind of grow from it, because in a way you see the qualities in that person that really attract you to them. And so it's kind of like, you can look at those qualities and try to find it in somebody that has the same orientation, or is looking for your gender, or however you identify. So that's what I would do, is just kind of appreciate the crush for what it is, and learn why you were attracted with them in the first place. So this Spirit article says, "I'm okay with being friends with her. I just can't stop myself from getting nervous, and it's really embarrassing." Yeah, I mean, I've embarrassed myself around crushes too, and it sucks in the moment. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Like, there's nothing anybody can tell you that's going to make it any better about having a crush on a straight best friend, because you are going to act goofy and everything. But in the end, they're your friend, and they still love you. It may not be a romantic love, but they still love you for who you are. And that is something that, be okay with embarrassing yourself and stuttering and all that other stuff. And if they are your friend, they won't care too much if they find out that you have a crush on them. Mine didn't. She probably still knows. She watches some of my stuff, so it's okay to, admit certain things. I think it's time and age that maybe make a difference. As you get older, things like that aren't as horrendous or as embarrassing, but then if you go back and think about it, it's still kind of embarrassing. Official Marcia says, I love what you're doing here. I'm very passionate about Christianity and the LGBT community. Hey, yeah, I appreciate you jumping on and saying that. It's kind of, I honestly created QCFV, which it stands for Queer Christian Family Values. I created it not expecting it to grow as much as it has. I created it to just document my personal journey, my personal relationship with dealing with my religion, and kind of discovering that aspect of myself, and as well as my orientation and gender identity as a trans guy, and attracted to both male and female, and people that don't identify as either. So I guess pan, I don't really know. I just identify with the term queer. But just going through that transition of, I was agnostic / atheist, and coming back to faith because I was raised Catholic, and then coming back to more of a non-denominational aspect of things, and then now I go to a Pentecostal church, and it really was just a way to identify or to document my journey through all of that, and so that's kind of where it came from, and it's grown into so much more. We have 2 apparel stores through some partners, which you can still get free shipping on all your orders with free ships through the 15th is the last day you can use that. And we have a website where we have blogs. We've actually got a writer by the name of CF. She's anonymous right now, but she's actually creating a fiction-based Christian fantastical, mystical story. And so the first one was already published, and the next one will be probably sometime this month, and I'll let you know. But we've got that going on. We're going to be launching a Patreon on the 31st, and so we'll have some treats for people there. And we're just growing every single day. That's what I'm doing. Not sure what you're talking about. Not sure what you're saying. That's what you're doing, but cool. Keep it up, Spirit Articlaw. Blaze is super gay. Says that sounds super awesome, or that sounds awesome. A Spirit says a C.S. Lewis-esque fantasy story. Oh, that'd be really cool. I'd love to read it. I'm a huge book nerd. Right now, I'm reading the Left Behind series. I realize that it's not necessarily LGBT affirming, but it doesn't really touch on it that much, and it's kind of Revelations based. Official Marcia says, I was kicked out of church when I was 17 for my sexuality. You're very friendly. Keep up the good work. I'm a book nerd too. Well, thank you for all of that. Yeah, I honestly, there's so many. I don't know if you're in the South, Marcia, but we in the South, like there's a lot of people that go to our church, which is Landmark, who were excommunicated, who were kicked out of churches, who have lost so much family, and that's not how Christ, the body of Christ, should treat their siblings, because Christ died to welcome all at the table. I mean, eunuchs, who were kind of seen as the other, like eunuchs were baptized in the New Testament because of Christ. So everybody's welcome at the table. It doesn't matter where you stand, whether you're an atheist, whether you are, whoever you are, you're still welcome into church. You are still welcome into the body of Christ because He loves you. He died for you. And if we could all love each other as Christ loved us, then, and at the end of the day, for people that are super homophobic, think about it this way. Do you think that Jesus would be more likely to have a meal with a homophobic person or with a gay person? If you're thinking from the aspect of, all these sinners, Jesus actually went and had a meal with tax collectors, with prostitutes, and all that other stuff. I don't like equating us as LGBT people with, being sinners, because I do not intrinsically believe that is a sin, because nothing that I've read, nothing that I understand, nothing that I've seen in the Bible or even in the past or in historical documents, what I say indicates that gay people, in a loving relationship as we understand it, is not depicted in the Bible at all. It's not condoned or celebrated. It's just not there. I don't believe that it's bad. But anyway, for people that do believe that it's bad, you can say, well, Jesus is more likely to have a meal with me. Let's see. I just finished Scythe and Thunderhead. I have no idea what that is. How do I make this go away? No, I don't want the comments. I don't want to comment. My dad is a member of a homophobic church. I'm in the South as well. Everyone is welcome. Yes. I'm sorry that your father is a member of the homophobic church, because it's really hard to try to fight against somebody's belief system, because they're never going to change, and so in a sense you kind of have to change your expectations of them. You kind of have to let go of ever getting that validation from them, and that is probably very painful to go through. It's something that Chris had to go through and is still going through. It's really, really hard. In the future, you should invite people to come on video with you and broadcast. I think you're doing amazing. The message you put out is so loving and prime example of how Jesus would be. Well, that would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, if we want to do that, we can do it. Maybe the next live I can bring on a couple people. So I think next live we're gonna do the drawing of those that want to win the galaxy painting. Again, make sure that you go in and comment your favorite color on any of our posts, and I will put your name into the drawing, and we'll do a drawing for the winner on the next live. But maybe I can also let people onto the live. I've never done that before. Blaze is super gay said, Jesus is more likely to have a meal with me. I love it. Yeah, exactly. And Spirit Articlaw says, considering how the homophobes act, he might sit with them just to persuade them, like in Steven Universe. Yeah, maybe. So for those that have no idea what that comment was, Steven Universe is a cartoon, but it has a lot of very deep themes, and I'm not particularly sure which episode you're referring to, Spirit, but let me know in the comment. Says, yep, it is sure hard. Spirit says, also Scythe and Thunderhead are books really interesting. Is it, are they Christian books, or are they, what specifically are they about? I was going to request time, join it, LOL. Oh, so you're wanting to join the live? I mean, we can try. If you want to do it, go ahead and request to join, I guess. I don't really know how to do it, but if I see something pop up on my screen, we can totally let you join in. But yeah, so says to yes. Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, no, if you want to join in, go ahead, and I'll click whatever pops up on my screen. I don't really know how to. I try to be technologically advanced, but at the end of the day, there's still some things that I don't know how to do. I feel like even more so since going back to the flip phone, I still have no idea what I'm doing nowadays. But yeah, for anybody that wants to join the live, I guess, to do the whatever thing that Marsha's trying to do. They have Christian Spirit says they have Christian themes through the character of Thunderhead, but it is not Christian, more sci-fi. Yeah, I could totally check it out. I've tried to get back into reading a little bit more. Marsha, I'm nervous. Well, you don't have to do it. I'm just saying, for anybody that wants to join the live broadcast or the whatever this thing is. Oh, I can request it apparently too. There's like two little like faces on top of each other down on the bottom of my screen. I didn't realize that I could select people to go live with. But yeah, no, next time if anybody wants to. Welcome for people that are kind of popping in and out. We're just doing kind of a Q&A talking about different things, talking about books. We're talking about passages. I read a passage in the Bible because somebody wanted me to read it. I'm not sure if they were trying to say that because my channel's for LGBT people that I needed to read this passage or what, but I read it and it's not about gay people, so I'm not sure what that was about. Let's see. Spirit says, I might join one week to talk about my book if you don't mind. Yeah, no, absolutely. Message me ahead of time. That way I kind of have an idea of what your book's about and kind of what all you're going to be doing. I'm trying to get my husband to finish launching his book. It's not going to be Christian per se. It's not really religious, but it has LGBT characters as main characters, and it's a women empowerment kind of thing, I guess, in a sense. But it's fantasy based. It is kind of magical in a sense. It's got elemental powers that people have, but it's like multi-universe. It is sci-fi, but it is very fantastical and stuff like that as well. And I've read it. It is so good. And I'm hoping that he'll get that to launch pretty soon, because when that happens, you guys will obviously see it, and it'll be posted on our website. He's going to be doing self-publishing. I have a trans main character. This is from Spirit. I have a trans main character and lots of anthropomorphic animals. I would actually be very interested. I will totally buy your book. Just let me know whenever it goes live and I'll totally buy it. Chris loves like that kind of anthropomorphic kind of stuff. It also links to my main multiverse. Yeah. Totally link if it's live yet. Definitely link it to me, and I'll totally buy your book. But yeah, any books people recommend, I will check out. I own God I'm the Gay Christian. I own Torn by Justin Lee. Those are my two favorites in regards to LGBT and Christian stuff. I've also have Austin Hartkey's book on, I want to say it's called Transgender Christian, but I could be completely off base on that. That one's a really good book. The Left Behind series is pretty good because before coming back and reading the Bible and everything, I had a huge issue with Revelations. I just couldn't wrap my head around it, and it was terrifying to me. But after reading the Left Behind series, or at least some of the books, it kind of gives you a better idea of what could be looked like as a modern example of it. Official Marcia says, I read Torn. It is such a good book. I actually lent it to my therapist, of which I'm going to have to get the book back. But I love that book. Spirit says, also has a ton of metaphors because I love writing themes and lessons into my book. Spirit's talking about their book that they're going to be publishing. So yes, link it to me. When are you going to be launching, or has it not even gone live yet, or is it something that you're working on currently? But while you're typing that out, so I do a lot of, I do a lot of pen pals and stuff, and also with the Patreon that we're going to be launching at the end of the month. I mentioned how at the $5 tier and $10 tier, you would get a monthly letter from us. Look at these stamps. They are, I don't even know if you can see them. They're dragon kind of based. So it's got like dragons wrapped around the house and stuff. Yeah. So I'm super excited with those. And I want to show you this, but I'm trying to cover up my address. So this is like the address labels that we have. It's Star Wars. It's backwards because of it, but Marcia says, I grew up in Kentucky. We're practically neighbors. I live in Florida now. Yeah, I'm in East Tennessee, right close to the Virginia border, kind of. Spirit says, I plan to do it next year, but I am looking for people to proofread and edit. Yeah, I would recommend reaching out to Chris. He's our editor. If you are looking for somebody to read it, I don't think he would charge you or anything like that. But private message me, and I can hook you guys up together. Blaze is super gay, says, I'm in East Tennessee too. I'm in Johnson City or Gray, I guess, so that's where I'm located, if that's where you're at. Marcia says, I love Star Wars. I work for the Walt Disney Company. Ooh, fancy. Do you do art for them, or in what way are you working with them? That's really cool. Yeah, Chris is a huge fan, my husband. He's a huge fan of Star Wars. I enjoyed the movies. That's about the extent. I'm not like a crazy obsessed. I am obsessed with Harry Potter. Like, it's pretty incredible. Like, this bookshelf that I have behind me, I don't even know if you can see it, but it's got, here, I'll grab something. Like, I got this little Hagrid mini guy. What is this? I've got Malfoy. So there's that. Says, Blaze is super gay, or gray. Wow, I've been reading it completely wrong. I live kind of near Johnson City, but closer to like Knoxville and Morristown. Okay, I mean, that's still not terribly far from us. We used to go to Knoxville for our endocrinology appointments through Planned Parenthood, because that was like the only place that we could find for a while. And that was in Knoxville. And Morristown is about maybe an hour from where I live. Okay. Spirit Articlaw says, I'm in the middle of the great Star Wars versus Star Trek war because I love both of them. Or both, lol. Honestly, I didn't grow up, but watching like the Star Trek, as it came out. I'm not that old, but I watched a lot of reruns with my mom and brother, like in the mornings. Star Trek with the like Spock and all that other stuff would come on, so I would stay. I would watch that. I was getting ready for school, and I would eat breakfast and all that other stuff. So I understand, but I need to clean this office. Like, behind me, over there's like a lot of like random, excuse me, I about cussed. There's a lot of posters up over there, and then, obviously there's a Harry Potter poster. But I want to do something with this wall, like put up a nice drape or something like that. I don't know what I want to do on that wall. And there's our bookshelf. There's like storage. We have a lot of like anime posters. You can't tell that Chris loves anime. I don't know what half of these posters are, I'm going to be perfectly honest, because we got them in Loot Crate, and they just they looked cool. Chris knows them, but I don't know what any of these are. Like, there's this, there's that, there's these cool paintings on the wall. These we got at like a thrift store. They're tiles that are painted, and that is from Africa. Chris's sister got him that. I don't know why I'm just showing you guys around. There's this poster, another anime poster. Let me just take it off of this hook thing. How about that? Because I have it on a tripod. There. We'll take it out of the room tour. It is a room tour. Because I don't know what else to show you guys. I'm flipping it around. So I've got Goku. this dude. Spirit Eye Claw. So, great to know I'm not the only supremely nerdy queer Christian. Yes. Like, you have no idea. There's Pokemon. Like, this is just like a mashup of like really random things. Ron Weasley. I've had this since I was 10. Oh, look. The one that Chris says nobody likes. Chris has had these like when like McDonald's and Burger King or whatever. Or no, this is from a Welch's Grape like mason jar. And this is all of his like Super Nintendo games. His other game sets. Behind this box of storage, we have Fluffy. For some reason, like, all my Harry Potter stuff is like on the bottom shelf down there. And this is like the desk area. All it is just like a fold-out table with storage underneath, so it's not very fancy at all in here. But yes, that is my room tour, my office/storage tour is basically. We're not going to open this because there's nothing but boxes in there. So anyway, how's everybody else doing? Do you like it better without all the lights? Because this thing is what I use. Literally all it is it clips onto the back of the phone, and it has this ring light. If you believe that homosexual is not a sin, read Mark 10:6-9. Jesus specifically mentioned marriage between man and woman. Why couldn't he say man and woman and woman? Because they didn't understand orientation at that time, and this person obviously is... Is there a way to, like... There we go. Cool. I blocked that person off of there because they obviously didn't want to listen, because... Yeah, thank you. Blaze is super gray. Yeah, I answered their question earlier. They obviously didn't want to listen, so I just blocked them. I'm so excited because I'm writing a play. Oh, awesome. Is it gonna... It's not for the same book, though, right? It's like something different? Plays blocking all them haters. Fine. Yeah, I mean, I used to let it get to me, but at this point, I kind of just block people. You reported them for the hate speech. Yeah, I mean, I don't go that far. I mean, I guess I should, because, you know, are they gonna go after other people? But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna let it interfere with me. I'd rather just report them and just move on with my life. I used to let it, like, you know, wear me down because I would get a lot of hate, especially when we first started QCFE. I'm surprised I don't get as much, but I also went through and put a filter through the Instagram comments to where if there's certain words used, then they won't appear. Like homosexual, the F word, cuss words, derogatory comments. And so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. And I also will talk to people that are homophobic to a degree. If they are trying to understand where I'm coming from, I will give them a bunch of stuff to read, and then I'll tell them, hey, read this, get back to me if you have questions, and either they're gonna read it and actually respond with a more, I guess, about, they're gonna ask questions or talk about the articles that I sent them, and then if they just continue to, you know, beat a dead horse, I will just block them. Spirit says for the play, no, it's for my school. It started as a therapeutic play because I was tired of being a third wheel, but it actually turned into a really great play, and a friend of mine is in theater, wants me to put it on. Yeah, totally do it. I record it and I'll watch it. But It is now at 5:40, so we're going well over the time period that I intended to. So, just again, a couple things. If you would like to win the galaxy painting, then go on to our Instagram and comment your favorite color, and then I will put you in for a drawing. Now, this needs to be in before Wednesday of next week, so get it done by Tuesday of next week, and I'll put you in. And then, let's see. Please save this live. I missed the beginning. I'll definitely save it. Don't worry about it. But anyway, if you would like to win the galaxy painting, put your color, your favorite color, comment it on any of our posts, and I'll put you in for the drawing. We'll draw that on the next live. And then the other thing is, we are going to be starting our Patreon. We're launching our Patreon on Halloween, October 31st. It's going to be $1, $5, and $10 tiers. And that'll be what we're going to do. So, other than that, I am going to let everybody go, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.